name's Canterberry, and this is my persuasive speech. Some people, such as policymakers, politicians, and congressmen, have proposed to raise the minimum wage. They believe that people would benefit from this by being able to work part-time, yet still making enough to live off of. Today, I will tell you a little about why this could be harmful to America, its economy, and some alternative ways to solving living expenses. Why the minimum wage is important to discuss. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2006, 2.2 million workers in the United States were paid at or below the minimum wage. A lot of these workers work full-time but get paid lower than minimum wage, such as servers. Servers in restaurants make less than minimum wage but are allowed to keep their tips. And that is how servers make up for being underpaid. If the tips from the customers were not available to the servers, then the servers were not making enough to get by. They'd work paycheck to paycheck. And that is why it's important for the tips to balance out, equal out, and so they can live off of. Benefits of keeping the minimum wage. Employers being able to pay more workers. That means more jobs are available. Small jobs are very common throughout businesses, and you can work hard and eventually obtain a raise or a bonus. In some cases or difficult times, it may be hard to pay everyone for their work, especially if everyone is getting paid like a CEO. So that is why small minimum wage jobs are important for businesses all across America. More jobs will be available, such as handy workers for all-around maintenance or garbage man or errand runner or anything sorts of that nature. There are many varieties of jobs you could choose from. It would increase the chances for low-skilled individuals to find work. Not everyone is blessed with all the knowledge in the world, but there are many jobs that to find that fit you and where you can benefit and grow in. There are many sources, such as online job finders, to find the right job and fit for you. With raising minimum wage also raises prices for consumers. Symmetry.com stated a raise in minimum wage does not necessarily affect a business, but it definitely affects the consumer. If a business has to pay minimum wage workers more, then the outcome would be prices of goods. So prices of goods would go up as well. And the reason why they would go up is because they would have to change, they would have to adjust to be able to pay for their employees, their payroll. Benefits of raising the minimum wage, as stated in minimumwage.com. Part-time workers would get paid more for living expenses, and more high-skilled workers would be more appreciated. So if managers or somebody that takes on a big role in a company, the employers realize why they're paying them that good money. Employers would not look down upon part-time employees as much because they're getting paid more, which I feel the employers would appreciate everyone in their business, but the ones who are full-time, I don't think they would agree as much because they're there and they dedicate their time and life and they feel like they deserve that pay. Disadvantages of keeping minimum wage. People will still have to rise to the next level, full-time or advanced, to be able to live on the salary. So if you get a pay raise of minimum wage, that means the goods and consumers would be paying more for their goods, such as milk, toothpaste, or everyday needs. They'd be having to pay more because they're making more salary or making more income. Minimum wage workers would still be looked at as part-timers. So even though they're getting paid more, everybody knows that they just got it from a bill, that's how a worker would look at it. But it's all in fairness. It would hurt low-skilled workers in some ways because of being put in a predicament where they cannot be handled, or it's still a problem at the end of the day. It would raise prices for consumers, as stated below. Fewer jobs would be available due to the payroll employers not being able to pay everybody. Little affecting on raising the minimum wage had little effect on reducing poverty, which is proved by the evidence from the raising of the minimum wage in 2002 in New York. We should keep the minimum wage. Yes, part-time workers should be able to live off their earnings. This is why we need to reconsider our buying and spending and renting throughout the United States. Prices are so high, children cannot move out unless their parents are helping or have some type of role in financial lives, leading them, making sure they're taking the right steps. No, part-time workers do not deserve as much as full-time. Full-time workers dedicate most of their lives to that company and deserve a higher salary. In conclusion, I would like you to all consider your points of view about the minimum wage requirements and how you would feel in everyone's shoes, such as employers, consumers, advanced workers, and people who dedicate their lives to these jobs, not just part-time workers. But everybody has a step or a foot in the economy, and everybody's important, from CEOs to the low rankings. And that's it, and I appreciate it. Thank y'all.